Good morning. Good morning to each of you. I am Dr. Corrine Johnson, and I would like to welcome each of you on this morning to Grace for Today 5 Minute Devotional. And on this morning, our subject is going to be trusting when you cannot see. And our key scripture is going to be coming from the division of Psalm 9 and verse 10. And it says, "Those who know your name trust in you. For you, Lord, have never forsaken those who seek you." And so in this life, we can expect to face all different kinds of tests. We go through different circumstances that doesn't feel good to us. And so, but in the midst of the tests, the trials, the things that we experience, God trains us in spiritual maturity. He's training us. He's growing us up through the things that we go through. And so one of them is the true test. So we must learn to trust God in all things, even and especially when we do not understand what is happening in our lives. And I'm pretty sure that there has been times that all of us have asked God, why am I going through this? Or, Lord, what are you doing in my life through these circumstances? Because I just don't understand. So growing in spiritual maturity means that you're not allowing situations you do not understand to cause you to give up on God or even to doubt his love for us. It means learning to say, this must be a test. God is teaching me something. God is teaching me how to trust him. God is teaching me how to depend on him for provision. One lesson that I have learned through the years is this: there is no such thing as trusting God without unanswered questions. There's no such thing as trusting God without unanswered questions. If we had all the answers to all the questions that run through our minds, we wouldn't need to trust God. If he showed us every step of the way how he was going to unfold the plan in our life, there would be no need for us to trust God because we would already know everything. So there will always be things we simply don't understand. There's going to always be things that we're going to go through and say, God, I just don't feel like I deserve this, God. Why am I going through this particular thing? I'm a good person, God. I try to do right by everybody, but it seems like the more I try to do right, the more things and trouble and trials that show up in my life. There's going to be things that we're not going to understand. There's going to be questions that may not be answered in that very moment. But this is why we need to learn to say, Lord, I don't understand, but I trust you. This is why we need to trust in God and don't lean to our own understanding. Because when we start trying to conjure up stuff in our mind and we start leaning to our own understanding, that means that we're taking our focus off of God. We're taking our focus off of the one that we need to be trusting in to deliver us from whatever it is that we may be experiencing in that very moment. So on this morning, I want to encourage you, trust God when you can't see what he's doing. Trust God when you don't know where the breakthrough is going to come from. Trust God when you don't know where your deliverance is going to come from. Because we have to understand that there will be times that we're going to go through various circumstances and trouble. But the true test of spiritual maturity is allowing God to train us during that time, allowing God to mature us so that we can be vessels that are fit for the master's use. And so on this morning, we thank you all so much for tuning in and joining with us for Grace for Today 5-minute devotional. And it is my prayer that as you go forth on today, that you will go forth and have a great day.